Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Mr. Dennis Tolentino Bubuli, and with me are Mr. Andy B. Dumale and Mr. Aldrin M. Serwit. We will be presenting to you the study entitled Effects of Pilot Attrition to the Manning Requirements of the 15th Strike Wing. In the Philippine Air Force, it is the pilots whom we can rely upon to man the different platforms with the corresponding missions. Personnel management in military organization is vital to maintain the desired unit strength at a given time. The researchers use a descriptive type of research, which involves collecting and analyzing data to provide an accurate picture of the effect of the pilot attrition to aircraft manning requirements of the 15th Strike Wing. The researchers used and reviewed secondary data in order to provide real numbers to the specific project displayed. They also use a word cloud that will summarize the responses of the key informants of this study. Through this method, it analyzes and evaluates the gathered data from the identified respondents. The researchers conducted the study at the 15th Strike Wing Major Danilo Atienza Air Base, Sangley Point, Cavite City. The study participants included key personnel of the 15th Strike Wing. They used purposive sampling to identify the respondents from the unit. In purposive sampling, the participants were selected from the target population based on the positions they held in the organization. Relatedly, the respondents who were also part of the pilot's attrition within the period from 2021 to 2023 were interviewed. The researchers employed specific instruments for data analysis, namely the key informant interview guide questionnaires. During the interviews conducted, the interviewees provided responses to the guided questions, drawing from their knowledge and experience held in their current and previous positions within the organization. Respondents were provided with an informed consent before the interviews, together with a consent and researcher's purpose, within confidentiality measures and participants' rights. It informed participants about their voluntary involvement in the study and ensured their understanding of the research process. The researchers submitted a request letter to conduct a study with the 15th Strike Wing and review related data from respective offices within the wing. A semi-structured interview guide was used to conduct one-on-one interviews with key informants. In the interviews with the key informants to gather more detailed insights and explore their experience, knowledge, and attitudes toward the topics and impact of this study. Publication, documents, and relevant policies related to the pilot attrition and requirements of aircraft was examined using a document analysis protocol. Also, interviews was audio recorded to ensure the accurate capture of participant responses.
In data analysis, it is essential to highlight that this research focuses on exploring first-hand accounts and insights shared by key informants who are officers of the 15th who are holding key positions of the 15th Strike Wing, who willingly participated in the researchers' structured interviews. The interview responses were thoroughly examined by the researchers. These observations were methodically arranged and classified in order to identify significant trends that added to a deeper comprehension of the study's goals and viewpoints of the participants. In order to produce a cohesive and coherent story, the several components have to be integrated. The chosen method of analysis was intended to improve the level of comprehension with which the responses of the participants were understood. One of the cyclical and methodical process that defined this strategy was the structured coding and categorization of data. For the interpretation, the researchers utilized a systematic methodology to interpret the results. The researchers' results and suggestions, which were firmly based on real-life experiences and viewpoints that respondents expressed, had to be shaped by the analysis of these themes that followed. For the results and discussions, as depicted in Figure 3, family is the main reason that the pilot decided to leave the organization. Family-related concerns would drive the pilot to be reassigned to units near to their family or opt to optionally retire from service just to spend time with family. Work-life balance cannot be achieved due to the nature of the pilot schedule, which has irregular working hours and short notice for deployment. The assignment is also the obvious reason for the pilot to leave the cockpit job and seek another career path. As a result of the factors of the previous slides, Figure 4 tackles the effects of pilot attrition and the aircraft manning requirements. The departure of trained pilots from a specific unit or organization can undeniably provide noteworthy ramifications of the surviving pilots and the overall operational efficacy of the said unit. Extended tours of duty can lead to scarcity of pilots. It could result in implementation of voluntary tours of duty for the remaining personnel, as the reduced number of individuals available necessitates a decrease in rotational deployments. The relationship between morale and job satisfaction can influence by extended deployment and heightened work demands, which may lead to a decline in morale among the remaining pilots. Figure 5 shows how important it is for military organizations to put plans in place to attract and retain fresh talent, retain veteran pilots, and efficiently manage workloads. This could entail making investments in innovative training and professional development, initiatives providing competitive salary packages, and enhancing working conditions.
The following are the recommendations to solve the pilot attrition of the 15th Strike Wing. Number 1, expand prospects for career development. Put policies in place to improve chances for career advancements such as training procedures and certification upgrades. These policies will enhance the career development of the pilots. Acknowledge and honor accomplishments to inspire pilots and foster a healthy work atmosphere. We need to acknowledge the effort of the pilots and their dedication to duty to boost their morale. Number 2, address issues concerning the family. Create regulations that help pilots have a better work-life balance. We need to improve the regulations of passes, missions, and leaves, especially after deployment. To lessen the burden on personal lives, think about providing military families with support networks and flexible deployment timetables. Provide regulated deployment schemes where every pilot can have sufficient time to spend with their family. Number 3, change up your career paths. Provide military personnel the chance to pursue a variety of career paths. This can involve providing pilots with opportunities to pursue administrative positions, participate in the advancement of aviation technology, or pursue entrepreneurial endeavors. With the 15th Strike Wing, we need to provide other taskings and schoolings for the pilots to exercise their leadership and gain other knowledge in military. Number 4, invest in the development of training of pilots. Set aside funds for creative training initiatives and ongoing professional growth for pilots. This guarantees that pilots maintain their proficiency and ability to adjust to new technology. Provide programs for our pilots in all types of aircraft like the flight simulator abroad to improve their skill and gain more confidence to fly the aircraft. This also boosts the morale of the pilots. Number 5, packages of competitive compensation. In order to stay competitive with civilian prospects, review and modify remuneration packages. Acknowledge the importance of seasoned pilots and offer rewards for mid-career retention. We need to offer additional payment and incentives for the military pilots to retain in the wing rather than go outside and pursue civilian aviation. Number 6, planning for strategic aircraft manning. Create a strategic plan to solve the current deficits in aircraft manning. Take into account focus hiring initiatives and effective pilot distribution to satisfy various platform needs. The leadership should acquire more pilots to man the existing and upcoming additional platforms of the 15th Strike Wing and the Philippine Air Force. We must take to consideration the unit who needed more pilots to fly their assets. And lastly, observation and assessment. Provide a framework for the ongoing assessment and tracking of pilot workload, career advancement, and satisfaction. To adjust policies and efforts to changing demands, use feedback channels. With this, we can track if the pilots will become more efficient and effective in their job. With the cited recommendations, we can assure that the pilot attrition in the 15th Strike Wing will be solved. That's all for our report. Thank you and God bless us all.